I want to talk about this Tucker Carlson interview with Nick Fuentes. Now, a lot of people don't like Nick. They really don't. And I don't blame them. I really don't. You know, I'm one of those people that I'm like, hey, you don't like somebody, fine. You don't like somebody's politics, fine. But on this interview, Nick said a lot of things that I can look at, and even if I don't like them, I can be like, you know what? I respect you for how you feel. There's nothing wrong with believing in something and then holding that conviction to heart.
So who's gonna be president? Who should be president next?
Who should be president? Well, yay, of course. Kanye.
You had dinner
Kanye
with Trump
2028.
I did.
and Kanye.
Yes.
What did you think of that?
It was surreal because those are my two heroes. Those are my two number one heroes of all time. I've always been a Kanye West fan.
You like the music first?
Yes. The music, the fashion, everything.
Really?
Yes.
Do you wear those weird one-piece shoes?
I do.
You actually do?
Oh, yeah.
My boy got Yeezys on. And before y'all jump in the chat talking about, because he likes those kind of shoes, so I know you. Shut up. Shut your face, okay? Hey, who doesn't like Yeezys? And who doesn't think Yeezy got, he got some fashion. He got some fashion understanding. I might not agree with everything he wears because he does wear some wild shit. This is a place where I could be like, all right, we could kind of break bread about Kanye. I am mad at you for liking Kanye. I think we all like College Dropout. I think it was I think it's my favorite album. Kanye's made music that slaps. Even when he makes weird music, it still slaps, as the young kids say nowadays. My nephew taught me that one, so I think I'm going to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like in public?
Yes. You don't think that's cool?
No, I do. I don't know what I think.
I'll get you some.
Tucker looks like a middle-aged man who he wears the Nike Monarchs, with the tube socks, the fucking shorts hiked all the way up to his belly button, and his polo shirt tucked in.
Same clothes since high school. Don't ask me about clothes.
Exactly.
I'm not good.
Same clothes
at
since
that
high
at
school.
all.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. So you've always been a fan.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
huge fan.
You described your love for Trump, like sincere
Yes.
childhood love for Trump. So what was it like to find yourself at dinner with them?
It was funny because it was literally Thanksgiving dinner. It was 3 days before Thanksgiving. So not only was it dinner, but I'm having Thanksgiving dinner with Ye and Trump at the same table. And these are like my heroes. And the way that it went was sort of interesting. Ye is sort of shy. He deeply admires Trump. He loves Trump. And I like that about him, because Ye really admires anybody that's an industrialist. He loves builders, visionaries, architects. He's very into that. So he has a deep regard for Trump. And so at the beginning, it was a little awkward because he wouldn't talk. And he was sort of shy.
Really?
Yay.
Yes. Which is surprising, right? Because
Yeah.
he's so outspoken. But
Look at how cheesy Nick gets when he talks about Kanye. Like, he genuinely thinks that Kanye is amazing. And it's just like, I wanted to point this out because a lot of people miss this when they speak about people they don't like. We all, regardless of what side you believe in, what side you're on, we all have things that make us this giddy like this. And for this kid, it just happens to be Kanye. And so many times I hear that people are like, he's racist, he hates black people, he's this, he's that. What's the other one they love to call him? Anti-Semitic, right? He's all these things. And then you see how he talks about Kanye. To me, this is not somebody who's racist. If you want to say he's anti-Semitic, I don't know. I don't know enough about that side of things. I've seen some of the things he said about Jewish folks, but fine. But he doesn't dislike black people. He just doesn't like, for lack of a better term, niggas. Nobody likes niggas. You could be white, you could be Indian, it's not just a black thing. It's just about carrying yourself a specific way that's shitty. That's what that is. That's how I look at that word. Look at him. He's smiling from fucking ear to ear and he's squinting. Let's just go back. Look at this. Look at this face, bro. He's just like ecstatic talking about Kanye. To me, that is peak not being racist.
Yay.
yes, which is surprising, right? Because
Yeah.
he's so outspoken. But Trump was trying to get him to talk. And it was kind of like a boomer moment because Trump was trying to get him to talk about like opportunity zones. He was giving him like the black voter pitch, the black Republican.
Really?
Pitch. Yeah. And I was like, dude, like he's not that kind of Republican, to say the least,
Fair.
At this point, I think people
So
know
what
that.
were you saying?
Well, so eventually, Trump didn't have a lot of luck with him. So he's kind of fielding the table, and he's talking to me. And
Trump does like other people to talk.
yes.
It's-
Well, he likes to talk too.
He does, for sure.
Yeah.
But he asks questions
Yeah, he does.
more than you would think.
Well, he's a good guy, fundamentally.
Yeah.
He's a very warm guy. So he was asking everybody, you know, what's up and who are you? And we got to talking. And, you know, I guess it was going too well because I was being very complimentary of Trump. And Ye was kind of kicking me and saying, like, you know, a couple days prior, we were talking about if Trump and Ye wind up on the debate stage, what is that going to look like? And I was coaching Ye, like, these are his weak areas. Like, this is where we got to attack Trump. And so Ye was like, tell him what you were saying the other day. Tell him what you were saying last night. And I was like, dude, that's our playbook. Like, we don't want to blow up our... and Trump was like, go ahead, don't be bashful.
He literally was working with Kanye on what to do for his presidential candidacy, even if you don't think Kanye was gonna win. But Nick was literally backing him, but he hates black people. I don't see it. I'm sorry. Or he's racist, right? That's the going term. Trying to get Kanye elected, I think it's wild. Even I would say that. But hey, I respect the hustle. I respect that he thought he even had a chance.
Well, tell me, what is it? And I said, you know what? I said, I think you're one of the greatest living Americans. I said, I'm a young guy. I said, I really have nothing to say other than thank you. I have nothing but gratitude for what you've done for the country. I said, it's really not my place, you know, to give you advice or correct you. And he said, no, don't be bashful. Tell me. And the story that I brought up was, this was really what sent me. In the first Fox News debate in 2015, in the Republican primary,
Yes.
Bret Baier, the first question, said, raise your hand if you will not pledge to support the eventual nominee.
Yes.
And Trump raised his hand because that's what he was saying. He said, you know, if I don't win, I'll run independent and I'll make Republicans lose. And so I brought that up and I told that story and I said, you know, I feel like what was inspiring in 16 is that you were willing to let the Republican establishment lose. Like you were serious about blowing them up, such that you are not going to say, like Pat Buchanan, who I respect, but Sam Francis acknowledged that was one of his great mistakes, was ultimately endorsing Bush. I said, it showed you were serious. You were playing to win because you said, I will let this Republican Party crash and burn. I want to run as the Republican, but if I can't, I'll run independent. I said, and that's how I knew you were serious. And that's how I knew you were the guy. I said, and I feel like lately, this was right after Ronna McDaniel became the head of the RNC again. I was like, I feel like lately you're just behind all these people. I said, we're not here for Kevin McCarthy. We're not here for Ronna McDaniel or Mitch McConnell. I said, we are here for you. Like we will die for you. We are loyal to you.
That's a
I said,
wild
and when
statement.
you did that showed
That's
you could win.
wild.
And we rallied. I said, so I want to see more like that. I want to see you hit DeSantis, let's say, who was running against him. And he was like, oh, okay. He goes, oh, so you like that? It was right after he called them DeSanctimonious.
Yeah.
I said, that was awesome. You should have kept hitting him. He's like, oh, you like that? He goes, this guy's hardcore. I like this guy, he was saying about me. And so I was trying to just get his mojo back, you know, and, you know, gas him up a little bit. And so that's how it went between me and him.
And what was Ye saying at this point?
Well, he was beaming with pride because Trump turns to him and says, who is this guy? This guy's great. And Ye was like, right? And I was like, this is amazing.
Did you call your parents from the parking lot?
Oh, yeah. You'll never believe.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I know people are like, oh, Ye's not stable in the mind. Like, okay, fine. That's fine. Believe that. I don't care. You don't become a billionaire being completely unstable. I'm curious to see how many people even cover this portion of the interview when he speaks about Ye, the way he speaks about Ye, and how highly he talks about him. Because I'd love to see how people are gonna twist this and turn this to be like, oh no, Nick is this, Nick is that. And I'm not trying to defend Nick. Listen, Nick has wild ass thought processes. He said wild shit 100%. I just don't believe he's a racist. Not after this conversation. Unless he does something else in the future that's racist. Right now, I don't think he's racist.